Maximum tension this afternoon. A federal move throws entire neighborhoods into a state of quiet alert. Right now, as you breathe, there are families who woke up with a knot they cannot explain. No alarms, no clear statements, no official roadmap. Just the message that a new nationwide procedure, broad, vague, and without a public outline, started rolling into parts of Minnesota. No one knows who will be reviewed, who will be questioned, or how long this climate will last. It is a fog of uncertainty sliding through streets, cafes, markets, schools, and every corner where life tries to remain normal. And if you're watching this, understand something. The tension is not a headline. It is a heartbeat held tight. Subscribe right now, hit the bell, because this situation is shifting fast, and you cannot afford to be uninformed. From this moment on, the city becomes a strange map. No marked paths, no predictable rules, just the idea that a federal administrative action might be focusing on certain communities, and that, according to various sources, close to 100 personnel could be assigned to stricter verification duties. And while that sounds bureaucratic, what people feel in the streets is something else entirely: distance, hesitation, quiet worry, businesses emptier than usual, and a population trying to breathe normally while watching every unfamiliar vehicle, every uniform, every unexpected interaction. Minnesota is living inside a storm made of three elements: confusion, exhaustion, and quiet fear. Not the loud cinematic fear, the silent one. The one that sticks to the skin when information arrives incomplete or fragmented. Census data offers numbers meant to calm nerves. More than half of Somali origin residents in the state were born in the United States, more than 6 out of 10, to be exact. And among those born elsewhere, more than 8 out of 10 are already naturalized citizens. In simple terms, the overwhelming majority are Americans with full rights and responsibilities. People who study, work, run businesses, raise families, yet today glance behind their shoulders, unsure of what this new administrative wave could mean. That collision, hard data versus human emotion, is where the atmosphere cracks. A statistic might whisper reassurance, but daily life responds differently. Daily life says, families are uneasy. Daily life says, the city feels off. Daily life says, something is happening, and no one knows how long it will remain hanging over their heads. Local leaders responded quickly and clearly. They repeated that they will not cooperate with federal immigration-related operations, and that their mission remains what it has always been: protect lives, uphold community safety, and avoid pushing residents into fear. They stressed that they do not ask about status, do not share information, and do not participate in federal screening. They wanted to seal the emotional leak before panic spread, but the anxiety had already taken shape. The clearest example lives inside a small cafe in a well-known community mall. The owner, who has spent more than 2 decades building her life here, said business is slower, not because of weather or economy, but because people are scared to leave their homes, scared of being approached for unclear reasons, scared of misunderstandings. She said, "I am a citizen. I work. I built my life here. Yet suddenly it feels like everyone is under suspicion." Her voice is not isolated. It's an echo becoming louder each hour. Zoom out to the national level. The federal government recently announced a temporary pause in certain immigration-related applications from nearly 20 non-European countries. Many of these regions have faced political instability or humanitarian crises. The official explanation is tied to national security reviews. No timeline, no end date, no clear path forward for families in the middle of these processes. A pause on paper becomes a life on hold for real people. You cannot understand Minnesota without seeing this national wave pushing uncertainty into every community. It does not matter if someone is a citizen, a resident, a student, a worker, or a visitor. What matters is how uncertainty hijacks the mind. A person does not need an official notice to feel unsafe. Only a rumor, a vague directive, or a silent operation that shows up without context. Over the weekend, independent cameras captured federal personnel questioning 2 individuals originally from the Horn of Africa, asking for proof that they legally lived here. The interaction ended without incident, but the symbolism exploded online. Fear spread faster than the facts, and even though city authorities clarified they had no role in the action, the emotional damage was already circulating. Now picture the families hearing all of this. Picture the people who have lived here for 20+ years, built homes, raised children, created careers. Today, they check their documents twice before stepping outside. They change their routes. They avoid crowded places, not because they did anything wrong, but because uncertainty reshapes behavior long before danger appears. And here comes the express analysis. The real question is not whether a policy is technically valid. The real question is what effect it has on the psychological and economic stability of entire communities. A shop that empties for 3 straight days already feels the hit. A parent who hesitates before letting their kids walk to school is already living differently. A neighborhood that grows quiet before sunset is already speaking loudly without words. Legal experts are advising something simple, but heavy with meaning: carry identification. Understand your rights. Avoid confrontations. and seek professional guidance if you have specific concerns. When information is scarce, clarity becomes survival. But here is the unspoken truth. This is not only about documents, it is about identity, about belonging, about how a single announcement from the capital can shake the emotional foundation of an entire state. Thousands of people now see themselves as possible subjects of review, even when legally they are not. That gap between rights and perception is the wound that hurts the most. Look again at the broader picture. Minnesota is not alone. This temporary federal pause affects roughly 19 countries, impacting families hoping to reunite, students waiting for approval, workers planning their futures, and entire communities navigating uncertainty. A bureaucratic pause on paper becomes a suspended life for anyone tied to those processes. Political voices clash on national screens. Some say the measure is precaution, others call it excessive. Meanwhile, everyday people want only one thing: predictability, the peace of knowing tomorrow will look like today. Nothing extraordinary, just the stability. But stability is exactly what Minnesota is not receiving. Instead, it receives conflicting statements, emotional tension, unclear criteria, and the shadow of broad administrative reviews that no one has explained in detail. That combination turns a technical decision into a psychological storm sliding through homes, sidewalks, and public spaces. Residents describe the city shifting. Mornings feel quieter, cafes fill slowly, shopping centers echo with empty footsteps. The economy keeps moving, but beneath it lies the heavy pulse of uncertainty. This is where the urgent chronicle deepens, because beyond the policy, beyond the operational shadows, this moment exposes something uncomfortable: how fragile belonging becomes when the national narrative changes. It does not matter if someone has lived in the country for more than 20 years, owns a business, or raised children here. What matters is what they feel when the country suddenly speaks about their community in broad strokes without nuance. And that is the true core of this story: how a technical measure can unleash an emotional storm, how a diverse state can enter a defensive posture in mere days, how the line between legality and perception fractures, releasing fear, frustration, fatigue, and silence. Now imagine this closing scene: a family eating dinner in near silence. Their children ask whether they can go to the park tomorrow. The mother says yes, but checks her bag to confirm her documents are inside. The father refreshes his phone again and again, searching for updates. No one wants to spread fear, but everyone is thinking the same question: when will this end? Social message: no community should live beneath a cloud of uncertainty created by measures that lack clear boundaries. No family should restructure daily life because of fear of misunderstandings. Stability is not luxury, it is foundation. And when that foundation cracks, everything shakes. If you are watching this and you are part of a community feeling this pressure, do not normalize the silence. Do not normalize the fear. Get informed. Stay connected. Support your people. Uncertainty loses power when faced together. And never let changing narratives make you feel like you belong less. You are part of the fabric of this country. Subscribe right now and hit the bell. Here you get reality in raw form. No filters, no fear, no hesitation. And this story is far from over.